Every lyric was you, the poetic journey of Princess Leonor and Sofia of Spain. In the quiet moments before dawn breaks over the Zarzuela Palace, when Madrid still sleeps and the weight of centuries seems to whisper through ancient corridors, Princess Leonor of Spain opens her eyes to another day that will be written into the song of Spanish history. Every gesture she makes, every word she speaks, every decision she contemplates becomes another verse in the ongoing ballad of modern monarchy. And if you listen closely to the rhythm of her life, to the measured cadence of her public speeches, the harmony she creates with her sister Sofia, the crescendo building toward her eventual coronation, you'll realize that every lyric of Spain's royal story is somehow about her, shaped by her, written for her. This isn't merely the tale of a young woman preparing to wear a crown. It's the composition of a living anthem, where two sisters serve as both the songwriters and the melody, crafting verses that honor tradition while composing entirely new refrains for the future. In Princess Leonor and Infanta Sofia, Spain has found its most compelling performers, not because they seek the spotlight, but because they understand that their lives have become the lyrics through which their nation sings its hopes, dreams, and aspirations to the world. The opening verse, "A Princess Born into Song," October 31, 2005, marked more than just the birth of Spain's future queen. It was the moment when centuries of male-dominated royal succession finally found its new voice. Princess Leonor de Borbón y Ortiz entered the world as living proof that Spain's story was ready for a new kind of protagonist. Her arrival rewrote the fundamental lyrics of Spanish monarchy, transforming "Long Live the King" into "Long Live the Future Queen," with constitutional changes that ensured gender would never again determine royal succession. From her earliest public appearances, observers noted something almost musical about Leonor's presence. There was a rhythm to her movements, a harmony in how she interacted with crowds, a natural understanding of timing that suggested she was born knowing the melody of royal service. Royal watchers began to speak of her not in terms of traditional royal qualities like dignity or bearing, but in more lyrical language, describing her natural grace, her intuitive understanding of her role, her ability to strike the right note in any situation. Her parents, King Felipe VI and Queen Letizia, understood they were raising more than just a future monarch. They were nurturing the next verse in Spain's ongoing song of democratic constitutional monarchy. Queen Letizia, whose own life story reads like a modern ballad of a middle-class girl who rose to become queen consort, brought to royal parenting an understanding that authenticity resonates more powerfully than artifice. King Felipe, having witnessed how scandal and controversy could create dissonance in the royal narrative, was determined to ensure his daughters would sing only verses of integrity and service. The metaphor isn't accidental. Music has always been central to royal ceremonial life: national anthems, processional marches, ceremonial fanfares. But in Leonor's case, the musical metaphor extends deeper. Her life has become a composition where every public appearance, every speech, every gesture adds another line to the ongoing song of Spanish monarchy's evolution from its authoritarian past toward its democratic future. The harmony, Sofia joins the royal symphony. 2 years after Leonor's birth, Infanta Sofia arrived on April 29, 2007, completing what would become one of Europe's most compelling royal duets. If Leonor represents the melody of Spain's royal future, clear, strong, and leading the composition forward, then Sofia provides the harmony that gives depth, warmth, and richness to their combined performance. Their relationship defies the traditional narrative of sibling rivalry that has plagued royal families throughout history. Instead, they've created their own unique musical partnership, one where Sofia's spontaneous vivacity perfectly complements Leonor's more measured approach to royal duty. When they appear together at public events, there's an almost choreographed quality to their interactions, not because it's rehearsed, but because they've naturally learned to harmonize with each other's rhythms. Sofia's role in this royal composition is far from background vocals. Her more relaxed demeanor and natural enthusiasm have made her particularly effective at connecting with younger Spaniards who might otherwise find royal formality off-putting. Her laughter at sporting events, her animated conversations with participants at cultural ceremonies, her obvious enjoyment of the royal duties she's asked to perform, all of these elements add texture and accessibility to the royal family's public image. The sisters' public appearances reveal a carefully orchestrated but genuinely affectionate partnership. At the Princess of Asturias Awards, Leonor delivers formal remarks with appropriate gravitas while Sofia's engaged attention and warm applause provide visual harmony. At sporting events, Sofia's enthusiastic support creates an atmosphere of genuine enjoyment while Leonor's presence lends dignity and importance to the occasion. Together, they create a complete musical picture of modern Spanish royalty, formal yet approachable, traditional yet contemporary. The composition of character, education as musical training. Princess Leonor's educational journey reads like the training regimen of a virtuoso preparing for the performance of her lifetime. Every lesson, every experience, every challenge has been carefully selected to develop not just knowledge and skills, but the kind of comprehensive understanding that allows a future queen to improvise when the situation demands it while never losing sight of the fundamental melody of constitutional monarchy. Her academic excellence at Santa Maria de los Rosales School in Madrid demonstrated early that she possessed both the intellectual discipline and the emotional intelligence necessary for royal service. Teachers noted her particular aptitude for languages. She absorbed Spanish, Catalan, English, and began studying Mandarin Chinese with the focused intensity of a musician mastering complex compositions. Each language opened new possibilities for connection, new ways of expressing Spain's interests and values to different global audiences. The decision to send Leonor to UWC Atlantic College in Wales for her final 2 years of secondary education represented perhaps the boldest movement in this educational symphony. For the first time in Spanish royal history, an heir to the throne would complete their formative education outside Spain, immersed in an international community that would challenge her perspectives and expand her understanding of global interconnectedness. UWC Atlantic College's philosophy of international understanding, environmental responsibility, and social service provided the perfect conservatory for a future queen who would need to lead Spain in an era of global challenges that transcend national boundaries. The school's emphasis on collaborative problem-solving and cross-cultural communication gave Leonor practical experience in the kind of diplomatic harmony that will be essential to her future role as head of state. Her time at UWC exposed Leonor to students from over 90 countries, creating a network of future leaders who shared similar international perspectives and values. These relationships, forged through shared academic challenges and collaborative projects, represent more than just networking. They're the foundation for the kind of personal diplomacy that often proves more effective than formal treaties in solving international problems. Sofia's countermelody, a different but complementary education. While Leonor perfected her international composition at UWC Atlantic College, Sofia continued developing her own unique musical voice at Santa Maria de los Rosales in Madrid. Her educational path, while parallel to her sister's in many ways, has been designed to prepare her for a different but equally important role in the Spanish royal family's future performances. Sofia's interests lean heavily toward sports and the arts, areas where she can develop her own distinctive voice while still contributing to the royal family's overall mission. Her athletic abilities, particularly in sailing and skiing, have made her a natural ambassador for Spanish sports and outdoor recreation. Her artistic sensibilities, evidenced through her appreciation for music, dance, and visual arts, position her as a potential patron of Spanish cultural institutions who can speak authentically about creative expression and cultural preservation. The contrast in their educational experiences reflects the different instrumental roles they're being prepared to play in Spain's royal orchestra. Leonor's international education emphasizes the skills needed for leading a global composition, diplomatic awareness, cross-cultural communication, and the ability to represent Spanish interests on the world stage. Sofia's more locally focused education, combined with her diverse extracurricular interests, prepares her for the specialized solos that can significantly impact Spanish society while harmonizing rather than competing with the monarch's primary responsibilities. The public performance, debut and development. Every young royal must eventually transition from private rehearsal to public performance, and Princess Leonor's debut was managed with the precision of a world-class concert debut. Her first major solo performance came at age 13 during the Princess of Asturias Awards ceremony, where she delivered a speech about Spain's commitment to international cooperation with a composure that stunned observers who had expected nervousness or stiffness. Instead, what they witnessed was a natural performer who seemed to understand instinctively how to modulate her voice for maximum impact. how to use pauses for emphasis, how to connect with her audience while maintaining the dignity expected of royal occasions. The moment marked her transition from royal child to royal heir, and she executed it with the confidence of someone who had been preparing for this performance her entire life. Since that debut, her public appearances have followed a carefully planned progression, each one slightly more challenging than the last, building her experience and confidence for the greater responsibilities that await. State dinners, diplomatic receptions, cultural celebrations, international forums, each occasion has become another movement in her ongoing composition, another opportunity to refine her technique and expand her range as a public performer. Sofia's public performances have followed a different trajectory, reflecting her different role in the royal ensemble. Her appearances often focus on youth engagement, sports promotion, and cultural appreciation, areas where her natural enthusiasm and authenticity can shine without overshadowing her sister's more formal responsibilities. Her genuine enjoyment of these events creates an infectious energy that makes royal duties seem approachable rather than intimidating. Navigating discord, grace under pressure. No examination of Princess Leonor's preparation for queenship would be complete without acknowledging the dissonance that has occasionally interrupted the Spanish royal family's otherwise harmonious composition. Recent years have brought significant challenges, financial scandals, questions about royal relevance, and generational conflicts that have tested public support for the monarchy. King Felipe VI's response to these challenges demonstrated the kind of decisive leadership that can restore harmony to a discordant situation. His decision to renounce any inheritance from his father and strip Juan Carlos I of his official allowance sent a clear signal about the moral standards expected of modern Spanish royalty. These actions created the necessary silence from which a new, cleaner composition could emerge. Princess Leonor and Sofia have shown remarkable maturity in handling this complex inheritance. Rather than attempting to ignore the difficult passages in their family's recent history, they've embraced the opportunity to compose new verses that emphasize transparency, accountability, and service. Their public statements increasingly focus on themes that resonate with contemporary Spanish values: democratic principles, international cooperation, environmental responsibility, and social justice. This approach requires extraordinary skill, acknowledging past mistakes without being defined by them, respecting tradition while demonstrating that change is both possible and necessary, maintaining royal dignity while showing genuine humility. It's perhaps the most challenging composition any royal family can attempt, requiring perfect pitch and flawless timing to execute successfully. The international stage, performing for a global audience. Princess Leonor's future role extends far beyond Spain's borders, and her preparation reflects this international dimension of modern monarchy. As the future head of state of a G20 nation and key player in European Union affairs, she must be ready to perform on the world's most important stages while representing not just Spanish interests but Spanish values and character. Her multilingual abilities provide her with the tools to perform in multiple musical traditions, the diplomatic language of English, the cultural richness of Spanish across Latin America, the growing importance of Mandarin Chinese in global affairs. Each language represents a different instrument in her international orchestra, allowing her to create harmonies with leaders and populations across the globe. The relationships she's building through her international education create a network of future leaders who share similar global perspectives and values. Many of her UWC classmates will likely assume significant roles in their own country's governments, businesses, and civil society organizations. These personal connections, formed during formative years when relationships are built on genuine friendship rather than diplomatic necessity, often prove more valuable than any formal alliance or treaty. Her participation in international youth forums, environmental summits, and cultural exchanges demonstrates an understanding that modern monarchy must engage with global challenges that transcend national boundaries. Climate change, economic inequality, technological disruption, and social justice movements don't respect borders, and future leaders must be prepared to improvise collaborative solutions to problems that have never existed before in human history. The digital composition, royal performance in the social media age. Perhaps no challenge facing Princess Leonor and Sofia is more complex than performing their royal roles in an era of digital media, where every public moment can be instantly captured, shared, and scrutinized by global audiences. Unlike previous generations of royals who could control their public image through carefully managed traditional media appearances, the Spanish princesses must perform in an environment where context can be lost, messages can be misinterpreted, and viral moments can define public perception. The Spanish royal family has approached this challenge with characteristic sophistication, developing a social media strategy that showcases authentic moments while maintaining appropriate dignity and privacy. The princesses' digital presence is carefully curated but genuinely representative of their interests, activities, and values, showing them engaged in official duties, educational pursuits, and appropriate personal interests. This digital performance serves multiple purposes beyond simple public relations. It helps younger Spaniards connect with the monarchy, provides transparency about royal activities, and allows the family to communicate directly with the public without traditional media interpretation. However, it also requires constant awareness that royal dignity must be maintained while remaining accessible and relatable to audiences who have very different expectations of public figures than previous generations. The challenge becomes even more complex when considering the global reach of digital platforms. Every appearance, every statement, every interaction is potentially viewed by international audiences who may not understand Spanish cultural context or constitutional monarchy principles. The princesses must learn to perform for multiple audiences simultaneously: Spanish citizens who expect accessibility and accountability, international observers who form opinions about Spain based on its royal representatives, and future historians who will judge their contributions to Spanish democracy. The Future Symphony, Composing Tomorrow's Monarchy. As Princess Leonor approaches her majority and eventual assumption of greater royal responsibilities, early indicators suggest she will compose a unique vision for Spanish monarchy that honors tradition while embracing necessary evolution. Her interests in international affairs, environmental sustainability, and social justice align with her generation's priorities while respecting the constitutional limitations on royal political involvement. Her support for the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, evidenced through her participation in related events and initiatives, suggests she will use her platform to advocate for global challenges that transcend partisan politics. This approach allows her to demonstrate leadership while remaining within the bounds of constitutional monarchy, composing verses of service that inspire without overstepping into political territory. The princess has also shown deep appreciation for Spain's cultural heritage and its promotion internationally. Her participation in events celebrating Spanish literature, arts, and traditions indicates an understanding that cultural diplomacy, Spain's soft power, will be increasingly important in international relationships. In an era when military force and economic sanctions have limited effectiveness, cultural connection and personal relationships often prove more valuable in achieving national objectives. Sofia's future role appears to be taking shape around themes of youth engagement, sports promotion, and cultural appreciation. Her natural athleticism and artistic sensibilities position her perfectly as a patron of Spanish sports and cultural institutions who can speak authentically about the importance of creative expression and physical achievement in human development. The Sister Duet, a partnership for the ages. The relationship between Princess Leonor and Infanta Sofia represents more than sibling affection. It's a strategic partnership that strengthens the Spanish monarchy's connection to contemporary Spanish society. Their different personalities, interests, and strengths allow them to reach different audiences while presenting a united front in support of Spanish constitutional democracy. Their joint performances at major state events demonstrate their understanding of this partnership approach. Whether attending award ceremonies, representing Spain at international events, or simply appearing together at cultural celebrations, they present themselves as a harmonious team committed to serving their country's interests. This collaborative approach maximizes the royal family's impact while distributing the pressures and responsibilities of public service across multiple capable performers. As they mature, this partnership will likely evolve into distinct but complementary roles that allow each to develop her own voice while contributing to their shared mission. Leonor will assume the formal responsibilities of head of state, conducting the main themes of Spanish democracy and international relations. Sofia may focus on specialized areas such as cultural promotion, environmental advocacy, or international development cooperation, providing harmony and depth to the overall royal composition. The continuing composition, every lyric still being written. Princess Leonor of Spain and her sister Sofia represent far more than the continuation of an ancient institution, they embody the ongoing composition of monarchy for the modern world. Their preparation, education, and early public service demonstrate a sophisticated understanding of what it means to serve as constitutional monarchs in a democratic society where respect must be earned rather than simply inherited. Every speech Leonor delivers, every cause she champions, every international relationship she builds becomes another lyric in the ongoing song of Spanish monarchy's evolution. Every sporting event Sofia attends, every cultural celebration she honors with her presence, every young person she inspires adds another harmonious line to this composition. Together, they are writing verses that honor Spain's past while boldly imagining its future. The challenges they face require skills and perspectives that previous generations of royals never needed to develop. Managing public expectations in the digital age, representing national interests in an increasingly complex global environment, maintaining institutional dignity while demonstrating personal authenticity, these demands require a level of sophistication and adaptability that would challenge any leader, regardless of age or background. Their success in meeting these challenges suggests that the Spanish monarchy is well positioned to remain relevant and valuable to Spanish society in the decades to come. More importantly, their approach may provide a model for how ancient institutions can evolve to serve contemporary needs while maintaining their essential character and purpose. As the composition of their lives continues to unfold, as new verses are written and new harmonies discovered, Spain watches with anticipation and pride. Every public appearance, every milestone achieved, every challenge overcome adds another line to the ongoing ballad of modern Spanish monarchy. And in that ongoing composition, every lyric, every moment of service, every gesture of dignity, every expression of commitment to democratic values, somehow returns to them, shaped by them, given meaning through their dedication to the noble art of constitutional monarchy. The song is far from finished. Indeed, the most important movements are yet to be written. But the early verses suggest that when Princess Leonor eventually assumes the throne, she will do so as the composer of a new chapter in Spanish royal history, supported by her sister's harmonious contributions and guided by their shared commitment to serving Spain with dignity, authenticity, and grace. In their ongoing composition, Spain finds not just its future queens, but the very melody of its evolving national identity, confident, compassionate, and ready to sing its values to the world.